Previously on the Nigerian wedding
We're
story.
very traditional people, so we will go all the way back to our villages to get it done.
It wasn't a matter of alaga draw, alaga ichoko. It was an alaga.
A bride is expected to do her henna.
Ìyá ọkọ and ìyá ìyàwó Nigeria Limited.
And my great-grandfather was the first farmer for father rice.
I'm a gift guru.
It was, how can I do what I do to the best of my abilities?
And the chicken on top of the puff puff, is it not grilled? I said no.
Somebody decided to pay us one big money like that. We're like, is this how this thing is?
You're a wedding planner, right? And I'm like, yes, I am a wedding planner.
Big love comes with a big bill. And someone, somewhere, is cashing out. Welcome to the Nigerian wedding economy. Once upon a time, weddings were run by aunties with jotters and prayers. Today, they are powered by an entire industry.
I don't want to say like I saw the future, but I saw a whole lot of businesses coming into the wedding industry. A whole lot of businesses, mainly because if you look at it as far back as 2010, 2011, the folks that were getting married, their parents did not have large weddings. But guess what? You had people having large weddings who would in turn have to plan weddings for their own children. And it was clear it would only keep growing. And, you know, events are part of our culture. Owambe is in us. The goal was to make it larger than life. And we called it the largest wedding exhibition. So we had billboards like everywhere all over Lagos. So people looked at it like, where is this money coming from? So it created the hype we needed. It created the hype of, oh, you know what, if you are not at Wed Expo, you are on a long thing.
The wedding industry is one of Nigeria's most dynamic microeconomies because it doesn't just employ the event planner or the photographer. People like the carpenters, the branders, the electricians, the florists, the support people. And I feel that a single wedding in Nigeria can engage between about 20 to 50 businesses at times. It depends on the scale, from decorators to transporters. And if you multiply that by the tens of thousands of weddings that take place every year across the country, the ripple effect becomes massive.
Let's start from Lagos itself. How many event centers do we have in Lagos? I'm going to tell you that we have, I don't know, I am friends with the president of the Event Centers Association. I can't put the numbers, I don't know the numbers for now, but I'll tell you we have a lot of event centers. And I'll tell you that all those event centers are booked every Saturday. That aside, we're not talking of church hall. We're not talking of hotel hall. We're not talking of compound, within their compound. The wedding industry, I can't even say.
The wedding industry is very large, you know. I won't speak about drinks yet. I'll speak about the entire thing, from decoration to the sound, to the stage, to the lights, everything basically, and they're not cheap stuffs. You get what I'm saying? You know, people also have tried to invest their own funds in those things to make money. And the point is, because of innovations, they have to keep introducing new things, and these things don't come cheap. If you go to China, they're very, very expensive.
In Nigeria, wedding is not just a party. Let's just start there. It's an economy on its own. So every wedding promotes a culture. It shows like social status of everyone in the society. It's also how money moves economically in the local, you know, stratosphere. So you can see like a caterer, a makeup artist, like each and every small minuscule vendor is employed. They have what to do. Their hands are, you know. So I would just say that every wedding, it satisfies a dream. it funds a business, and it just moves the economy globally. Like every single event that you have puts money in the pockets of youths and, enables them to grow without actually having. So anybody who just has a skill and is skilled at it, the wedding industry is a good place for you to just grow your business.
It's a thriving industry. It's a whole supply chain. The event industry is a supply chain, from caterers to drinks people to the baker so it's lucrative. You every day you wake up and you have customers coming to patronize your business. So I would advise anybody that wants to go into it to go into it. I don't know about the money making aspect of it, but it's lucrative.
The event industry as a whole in Nigeria, it's more or less like a global village. There's so many things that even the people that we are trying to copy cannot do, because we will take just a seed and then we plant it and explode. Like, the way Nigerians would have parties.
Wedding is like a cultural tourism, because wedding is not just like everybody think it is in the wedding industry, but a global movement where people travel. You bring a group of people from different cultures, and then when you come for a wedding, like in Lagos right now, you experience the nightlife, the historic destinations. Even some of the churches are part of our tourism assets, like the Christ Cathedral Church in my arena. St. John's Aroloya is one of the oldest churches in Lagos, So wedding itself, it's like a cultural tourism, because when you come for wedding, you find people bringing in the masquerades, your festival, groups, and so many things. The food, the gastronomic part of it, everybody's talking about our wonderful smoky Niger jollof rice and the rest. So wedding is more like tourism now.
What used to be a family affair has become a thriving economy, employing thousands, generating billions. The Nigerian wedding industry didn't grow quietly, it exploded.
With time, you like to evolve, younger people are taking over, and I started thinking about H09, which is Hope of Nigeria. And for me, it was because I'm married to a lawyer, and she was able to put a lot of structure into my business. I thought that was the secret of me, not just as a photographer, but as a creative. And so I thought there was a way we could scale that experience for a lot of people. So H09 started doing trainings, telling you that you need to have all aspects of businesses, your bookkeeping, accounting, you need to have your branding, to package you and all of that, and even IT and all of that. We had the best sites and all of those things then. And so we started training. I knew I couldn't use the vehicle of QF to do that, So we started H09.
I'm getting older than when I started. In the next few years, I should be able to retire, because I told myself when I'm 70, I'm going to retire, but people are saying, no, it doesn't matter. So I started a school, a training school. The only thing we teach is how to be an outstanding alaga. I started with 4 people. Now, by the grace of God, we have graduated over 150. But there is a particular woman that came all the way from Canada to do this. She was there for 3 months, even though the training is supposed to be 1 year. 1 year of class work, then another 1 year of internship. We've been able to train at least, I think I'm very sure, of 150.
I'm proud of community of wedding professionals that I have built over time, I would say in the last 10, 12 years. And so as I grew my business, apart from planning weddings and parties, I started training. I run a training school, and so I have built a large following of mentees who have passed through the academy, who are also doing well. Some of them have even gone ahead to also start up their own training schools. I also have a community of over 500 event professionals where they collaborate, they bring on board each other. That's one impact, one solid impact that I would say that Bisi Shotunde or Busy Bee event have built in the Nigerian wedding industry?
I would say that the wedding industry is actually a very large one compared to, when I came into the industry and now. It has evolved and it will still keep evolving. And that is the reason why you see a whole lot of people, they just, come into the industry because they can see that it's actually a very large market and they feel that, yes, they can actually own a spot in the industry. So things are changing, trends, people are innovative.
So I saw that, there would always be businesses. We have about 200 million people in Nigeria. A lot of people still don't even use professional vendors. So there would always still be clients for vendors to fill. And that was what made me say, okay, you know what? I was going to come into the wedding industry. I wasn't going to plan events because a rule for me was I wouldn't compete with my clients. So I wasn't going to plan events. I wasn't going to plan weddings. I wasn't going to be a decorator, a drinks person and all. So I focused strictly on the business of weddings.
The wedding industry is almost like a $300 billion, market size share. And we're not even tapping into half of it. Take, for example, somebody like Aliko Dangote recently saying at the Temi's wedding in Iceland that he's been around the world, but he has never been to Iceland. And that means there's like an open market now for Iceland because of the, the backdrops and everybody's seen the images on the front of Vogue magazine. That is what tourism does. It opens new doors. Imagine if they had done that same wedding somewhere in Obudu. We have the same kind of, location that will match that one of Iceland. Imagine having a wedding at Lakowe. Imagine one at Takwabe. So when you see this kind of, movements in weddings, big people coming down, it increases the GDP of the country. Hotels will be fully booked, logistics, airport transfers. The local woman selling even puff-puff on the road will get something out of it because people will buy street food. Then the nightlife. So the ecosystem works with wedding and tourism, and it's a game changer too.
It also tells how the economy is. So for example, if the economy is doing well, a couple will be more inclined to splurge on their event. And if the economy is not doing well, you'll be seeing them saying, Omo, things are very tough, we cannot pay that much. So it's from wedding industry that you would know whether we're doing great or we're not economically.
Fueled by Instagram, a rising middle class, and that sacred rule, your wedding must outshine your cousins. Suddenly everyone needed a brand, a look, a signature. And Nigerians, we showed up.
We've directly handled events where the souvenirs were cars, deep freezers, televisions, souvenirs, regular souvenirs. We've handled events where someone is turning 80 and the person says, 80 brand new cars. This is not lumber, like they're handing the keys to people. So yes, it's a multi-billion naira industry because clients believe in you enough. You just heard what I said. Cars, the money goes through you as a planner. You're the one that is going to go and negotiate all of these things. All of these monies go through your account. So if all of these monies are going through my account, then what is in it for me? It must be something, you understand what I mean? So yes, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It is, and it will be forever, really, because parties will never stop. That's the only thing that gives Nigerians joy and makes them forget about whatever their issues are temporary.
Yes, I agree 100%. And if we narrow it down back to our home, Nigeria, and even in Lagos State, statistics as far back as 2023 or so says that in Nigeria or in Lagos, we do 20 billion naira. Is it monthly or yearly? It's the statistics. So the statistics is actually true. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. New businesses are popping up. Services are coming, and people are more aware now to do a lot of services, to churn out funds. It's also become a thing of status. So you look online or you watch TV, you are seeing this person's wedding, and you want your own to also shine. you want to also do. I was giving an example of a wedding that we planned earlier in the year where they were sharing souvenirs and people were things like cam gas and all of that. We got a lot of inquiries, got a lot of DMs say, oh, I want to do something like this. How much would it cost if we were to provide this kind of souvenirs? That shows that people want to spend when they see value.
Abroad, maybe the most they can do is have 100 guests, 150 guests. I mean, Lagos especially, we do 5,000, we do 10,000 depending on the capacity and, the pocket as well. So we've transformed whatever any design anybody has thought of abroad into something that is beyond what anyone can imagine. And that is the beauty of the Nigerian event industry.
A popular minister had a son's wedding in Nigeria, and people came from all over the world. From Ghana, there are like 5 different hotels maxed out. And they said, oh, they have 2 spare days for them after the wedding and all that. And, that was where we came into cooperating with them and partnering with them. And we took them to Nika Gallery. We had almost like 6-7 buses filled with foreigners.
Did you say $1 billion for the weddings? It's over. They spend that kind of money. Recently, I had an event in the East, which I'm not going to mention the name, but it's all over social media. They spent over $1 billion for the drinks alone. If you ask me how I calculated it and it's $1 billion, when you put drinks like Dom Perignon, you put drinks like all the big champagne, all the big NSA, all the big Moet, the biggest ones, and you have like 40 years of Glenfiddich, and they're not just in pieces, they're in cartons, over like 200 cartons or 500, some are in 500 cartons, and the wine that was served has been like imported and named from wherever in Spain or in Italy that you brought it from. And they are all in Magnum bottles. Do you know those Magnum bottles of champagne, Moet, and all those Veuve Clicquot and all those other ones that has Magnum? It's not the regular ones. And you have them like in 500 cartons, in 600 cartons, in one wedding.
And I brought one of my wine producers to Nigeria. It was a funeral, so I took her to a party. We come and see proper party in Nigeria. And she got there, she came to the party, and she left me, she walked around the hall. I said, oh, Father boy, there's champagne on every table. I said, you never say anything. So that one are normal. So, and she couldn't believe it because at their party, they pour it in glasses for you. You go there, they pour, they go, and after about a turn, everybody's going back home. But everybody had champagne. Then there was still wines. There were over 2,000 people in that party. She took her time to walk. I was even looking for her. I don't know, say she did document all those things. And she came back and I told her that I can't forget telling her that this same party that is happening here, there are over 100 of it happening in different parts of the state. Not to talk of Nigeria. I said, wow. I said, so you understand what the Nigerian event industry is like. And we have the numbers. We have 350 million. The whole of Europe, how many people did the whole of Europe? So yeah, it's a multi-something dollar company. I don't want to name figures, but yeah, it's a big industry.
In Nigeria, weddings create jobs. The bill might be high, but somehow we wouldn't have it any other way. Next on the Nigerian wedding story.
Why am I still importing when our people can do even better?
I am not a hairdresser. Even though I can do those things, but I'm a stylist.
Every Saturday, it's like you're carrying your phone to see what this bride is going to look like, what that bride is going to look like.
Brows. I have an obsession with brows.
The industry is going beyond just retail, just, come, you buy and you go. We're going into experiences now.
Toyin, I'm coming to see you. There's good news. My daughter is getting married.
You will not forget the times when your dad will be honking outside, your mom will be stressing herself to try to tag Gilly, and then she'll say, Tia Ijalo.
Some people just want it very simple and quiet. And some people want it very, loud.
So when you bring content creators to the event, you have the fun of the event. You understand? Everybody's relaxed, so it's not all serious.
But then they are looking great. They are in their best behavior. Please, if they ask you for small chops, give them 1 or 2. Okay.
No photography, no wedding. Because it's all about memories.